5 years. I thought I'd never see Isabella Rossi again. Not for the rest of my life. But there she was, standing in front of my office building today, the same exquisite face, now sharpened with a cool, worldly elegance. Ethan, the way she said my name was still maddeningly beautiful. I stopped, staring at the woman I once loved down to my bones. You're back. I'm back. Isabella offered a faint smile. I hear you're doing well. Director of Engineering at Apex Innovations. I just nodded, my mind silent. The rainy night from 5 years ago was still burned into my memory. The day before our wedding, she had called me. Ethan, I'm so sorry. I'm leaving the country. What are you talking about? I thought it was a sick joke. MIT offered me a full ride for my PhD program. I have to go, but we're getting married tomorrow. I'm sorry. She hung up. The next day, I stood alone on the altar, a joke in a tuxedo, facing a church full of guests. Sarah Miller saved me, my best friend from college, and Isabella's. She was in her bridesmaid dress when she walked up onto that altar and took my hand. Ethan, she'd said, her voice steady, if you'll have me, I'm willing to marry you. In that moment, looking into Sarah's clear, honest eyes, I didn't hesitate. It wasn't about love. It was about not wanting to be the biggest fool in Seattle. I had no idea that one act would turn into 5 years. Ethan, what are you thinking about? Isabella's voice pulled me back. Nothing. I glanced at my watch. I should be getting home. You really got married? Yeah. To Sarah? Yeah. A complex expression flickered across Isabella's face. I heard you have a child, too. A son. He's 5, I said, my voice softening instinctively at the thought of Leo. He was my son, mine and Sarah's. He looked just like me, but his personality was all Sarah, gentle and kind. Ethan, Isabella stepped closer. I'm back. I looked at her, unsure what to say. I know what I did was unforgivable, but I've thought about you every day for the past 5 years. Every single night in Boston, I regretted it. Isabella, what's past is past, but I don't want it to be. Her eyes grew moist. Ethan, can we start over? Please. I shook my head. That's impossible. Why? You love me. That was 5 years ago. What can 5 years change? You're just grateful to Sarah? It's not love. I didn't answer. I just turned and started walking toward the parking garage. Isabella chased after me. Ethan, I know you still love me. Have you been happy these past 5 years? Living with a woman you don't love? Are you truly happy? I stopped and turned back to her. 5 years ago, I would have done anything for her. But right now, all I wanted was to go home to Sarah and Leo. You're too late, Isabella. With that, I got in my car, started the engine, and drove away. In the rearview mirror, she stood frozen on the sidewalk like a statue. The drive home was a blur. Sarah had been so good to me these last 5 years. She never asked if I loved her, just quietly took care of me and Leo. When we first got married, we slept in separate rooms. She never complained. It wasn't until Leo was born, when she hemorrhaged during labor and I waited 6 agonizing hours outside the delivery room, that I realized I couldn't lose her. I don't know when it started, but seeing her smile began to brighten my day. Hearing her sing brought me a sense of peace. Maybe this was love, not a wildfire, but a steady, grounding warmth. When I got home, Sarah was in the kitchen making dinner, and Leo was in the living room playing with his Legos. Dad's home, Leo shouted, running into my arms. Have a good day at kindergarten. Yeah, the teacher taught us a new song. He started humming a nursery rhyme in a small voice. Sarah came out of the kitchen, wearing an apron, her face flushed from the stove. You're back. Go wash up. Dinner's almost ready. Looking at her, a pang of guilt hit me. If Isabella hadn't come back, I might never have realized how my feelings for Sarah had changed. It wasn't gratitude anymore, not settling. It was real love. During dinner, Sarah asked, "What kept you so late today?" "Just something at the office," I said, avoiding the topic of Isabella. Leo was making a mess, rice sticking to his cheeks, and Sarah gently wiped his face. I'd watched the same scene for 5 years and never once grown tired of it. Later that night, we were in bed. She was reading, and I was scrolling through my phone. "Ethan," she said suddenly. "Yeah, is something on your mind?" I put my phone down and looked at her. "Why do you ask?" "A gut feeling." Sarah closed her book. "We've been married for 5 years. I know every look on your face." I was quiet for a moment, then decided to tell her. "Isabella's back." Sarah's body went rigid, but she quickly composed herself. "Did she find you?" "Yeah, outside the office." "What did she say?" "She wants to start over." The room was silent, the only sound the steady breathing of our son from the room next door. After a long moment, Sarah finally spoke. "Ethan, if you want to go back to her, I won't stop you." I turned to look at her. Her eyes were bright, but I could see she was holding something back. "Sarah, what are you talking about?" "I know you've always loved her," she said, her voice barely a whisper. For these 5 years, I've just been her stand-in. I reached out and took her hand. You are not a stand-in. Then what am I? I looked her straight in the eye and said with all the conviction I had, You're my wife. You're Leo's mother. You are the most important person in my life. Sarah stared at me, her eyes welling up. Ethan, you don't have to say that just to make me feel better. I'm not. I pulled her into my arms. Sarah, I love you. It was the first time I had ever said those 3 words to her. She trembled in my arms, her tears soaking into my shirt. Really, really. That night, we fell asleep in each other's arms. I knew that some words, once spoken, could never be taken back. Isabella was back, but there was no going back for me. My heart was already home to someone else. The next morning, I had just gotten to the office when I received a text from Isabella. Ethan, can we meet? There are some things I need to say to you in person. I stared at the message for a long time before replying. There's nothing to talk about, just as old friends. 10 minutes, that's all. My first instinct was to refuse, but I felt that some things did need to be settled once and for all. 10 o'clock. The coffee shop on the ground floor. At 10 sharp, I went downstairs. Isabella was already there, sitting at a table by the window. She had changed into a cream-colored dress and wore light makeup. She was still so beautiful. 5 years ago, that beauty had made me head over heels. You're here. She stood up, moving as if to hug me, but I sidestepped the gesture. Let's hear it. What is it? I said, sitting down across from her. Isabella looked awkward for a second before sitting back down. You've changed, Ethan. People change. You never would have treated me like this before. That was before. I checked my watch. You have 8 minutes. Isabella bit her lip. Ethan, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have run off before the wedding. But that opportunity was too important to me. A full scholarship to MIT. Most people would wait a lifetime for a chance like that. And I thought you would understand. I laughed. Understand you? Isabella, do you have any idea how long I planned that wedding? I spent nearly all my savings to give you the perfect day. You destroyed everything with a single phone call, and now you come back asking for understanding. It was painful for me, too, she said, her eyes turning red. I thought about you every day I was over there. I kept your picture on my nightstand. I looked at it every night before I went to sleep. Then why didn't you come back? I was scared. She looked down. I was scared you didn't love me anymore. You guessed right. Isabella's head snapped up, her eyes wide with shock. What did you say? I said, I don't love you anymore. Saying it out loud felt like a weight lifting off my chest. 5 years, and I could finally say it without a shred of doubt. That's impossible. Isabella shook her head. How could you not love me? We were together for 3 years. You said you'd take care of me for the rest of your life. That was 3 years ago. But Sarah is just my replacement. She just looks a little like me. You're just in love with my shadow. Her voice grew sharp. I frowned. Sarah is nothing like you. And it was true. Sarah didn't have Isabella's flashy beauty, but she had a warmth that radiated from her. Her smile was healing. Her voice was comforting. Her cooking was delicious. The way she looked holding Leo, reading him a story, was beautiful. Isabella had none of that. Ethan, don't lie to yourself, Isabella said, standing up. I know you. You're a romantic. You couldn't have forgotten me this quickly. I haven't forgotten you, I said, standing up as well. But not forgetting isn't the same as still being in love. Some people are just meant to live in your memories. I don't believe you. Believe it or not, I said, turning to leave. Time's up. Ethan, Isabella grabbed my hand. Let's just try again, please. I promise I'll never leave you again. I pull my hand away. Isabella, I'm married, then get a divorce. I'm not getting a divorce. Why? You don't even love Sarah. I stopped and looked back at her. You're wrong. I love her. Very, very much. After saying that, I left the coffee shop without a second glance. Back in my office, my mind was racing. My assistant, Chris, knocked and came in. Mr. Hayes, a client was hoping to meet with you tonight to discuss a partnership. Cancel it. But this client is... I said cancel it. Chris looked surprised. I rarely turned down a client so bluntly. Okay, I'll let them know. That afternoon, I got a call from Sarah. Ethan, what time will you be home tonight? Regular time. Why? No reason. Just wanted to start dinner for you. Hearing her gentle voice was like a balm to my frayed nerves. Okay, I'll try to be home early. All right, drive safe. After hanging up, I looked at the photo of Sarah and Leo on my desk, and a warmth spread through my chest. For the last 5 years, no matter how late I came home, Sarah would wait to eat with me. If Leo was hungry, she'd feed him first, but she would always wait for me. Sometimes I'd work so late she'd fall asleep on the couch reading a book, only to jolt awake when I walked in and immediately go to warm up my dinner. Never a single complaint. How could I not love a woman like that? At 5:30, I left work on time. The moment I opened the door, the aroma of pot roast filled the air. Leo ran over and hugged my leg. Dad, Mom made pot roast today. Is that right? That's Leo's favorite. Uh-huh. Leo nodded enthusiastically. Sarah came out of the kitchen, smiling. You're back. Go wash your hands. We can eat now. During dinner, Leo chattered on about his day at kindergarten. Dad, today Mason's mom was late to pick him up, and he cried. Oh yeah? What happened then? The teacher called his mom, and she said she was in a meeting and he had to wait. And did Mason wait? He did, Leo said seriously. And I waited with him. I ruffled his hair. That was very kind of you, Leo. Sarah watched us, a gentle smile on her face. Our life was simple, but it was happy. That evening, the three of us watched TV together. Leo sat between us, hugging his teddy bear. An animated movie was on, and he was completely engrossed. Sarah leaned her head on my shoulder, and I could smell the faint, clean scent of her shampoo. Ethan, she said softly. Thank you. For what? For marrying me. For giving me a family. I looked down at her. You're silly. I should be the one thanking you. If it weren't for her, I don't know how long it would have taken me to pull myself out of the wreckage of that day 5 years ago. She gave me warmth. She gave me Leo. She gave me the life I have now. Ethan, if Isabella wanted to come back one day, what would you do? Sarah asked, her voice so light it was almost afraid of breaking the peace. I tightened my arm around her. I've already made my choice. But, no buts. I kissed her forehead. Sarah, my choice is you and Leo. She didn't say anything else, but I felt her grip on my arm tighten. In that moment, I thought, maybe everyone has an Isabella in their youth, someone who burns bright and fast. But real, lasting love looks like Sarah. It's not a wildfire, but a hearth you can come home to forever. Rain started to fall outside, tapping against the windows. Leo had fallen asleep in my lap, and Sarah's eyes were closed, her breathing even. I looked at the two most important people in my life and felt a profound sense of peace. Isabella, I'm sorry. I can't go back. The road ahead has a much better view. That weekend, Sarah suggested we go to the mall to buy Leo some new clothes. He's growing so fast. Half his wardrobe is too small, she said, sorting through his drawers. Okay, let's all go. I put down my phone. We can get you a few things, too. I don't need anything. I have enough clothes. Never enough. I walked over and hugged her from behind. My wife is beautiful. She deserves beautiful clothes. Sarah blushed. Leo's right here, don't be silly. Leo just giggled from the floor. Daddy and Mommy are hugging. As the three of us walked out, Sarah linked her arm through mine, and I held Leo's hand. It was a picture of contentment I wouldn't trade for anything. The mall was crowded. Leo was thrilled, looking at everything. Dad, I want that robot. All right, Dad will get it for you. Sarah gently tapped my arm. You spoil him. Once in a while, I said with a smile. Kids should have toys. Just as I said that, I saw a familiar figure. Isabella. She was in the women's section with an older woman who looked like her mother. I instinctively wanted to turn away, but she had already seen us. Her gaze shifted from me to Sarah and then landed on Leo, who was happily clutching his new robot. Ethan. Isabella walked over. Sarah felt my body tense and follow my gaze. Isabella, she said, greeting her first. You're back in the country. Sarah, long time no see. Isabella's smile was strained. Is this your son? Yes, this is Leo. Sarah gently stroked Leo's head. He shyly hid behind her, peeking out at Isabella. He looks just like Ethan, Isabella said, a complicated mix of emotions in her voice. Just then, the older woman walked over. Izzy, who is this? Mom, this is my college roommate, Sarah, and... Isabella paused. Ethan. Isabella's mother looked us over, her expression clearly surprised. So you're Ethan? I nodded. Hello, Mrs. Rossi. Hello. Mrs. Rossi's tone was awkward. I didn't realize you two were married, with a child this old. The atmosphere turned tense. Sensing it, Sarah spoke up. We should get going. We have things to do. Don't rush off, Mrs. Rossi said, taking Sarah's hand. It's such a coincidence running into you. Let's have lunch together. No, thank you, Mrs. Rossi. Sarah politely declined. Come on, Isabella said, looking at me. It's just old friends catching up. I was about to refuse when Leo suddenly piped up. Mommy, I'm hungry. Then let's go get some food, Sarah said, scooping him up. Let's go together, since you're eating anyway, Mrs. Rossi insisted warmly. My treat. Unable to refuse, we ended up at a restaurant in the mall. In a private dining room, the air was thick with unspoken tension. Mrs. Rossi kept studying Sarah and Leo, her expression unreadable. Sarah, what do you do for work now? Isabella asked. I'm a stay-at-home mom for now, Sarah replied. Once Leo is a little older, I plan on going back to work. That's nice, Isabella said with a slight smile. Being a full-time mom is hard work. It's okay. I love taking care of Leo. Leo was eating quietly, occasionally looking up at the adults. Leo is very well behaved. Mrs. Rossi said, takes after his mother. Gentle. It sounded like a compliment, but I felt a barb hidden in it. Ethan, how's your job now? Isabella asked me. It's good. I'm the director of engineering at Apex Innovations. That's very impressive, Isabella said, a flicker of something in her eyes. Much better than 5 years ago. Under the table, Sarah gently squeezed my hand, a silent message of support. It's all thanks to Sarah, I said, looking at my wife. She's the one who gave me the drive to succeed. Sarah blushed, her eyes shining with affection. Isabella's face soured as she watched us. My Izzy is finishing her Ph.D. at MIT. She'll graduate next year, Mrs. Rossi announced suddenly. She can get a job at any top company she wants when she comes back. That's wonderful, Sarah said politely. And you, Sarah? What was your major? English Lit. Oh, well, that's a world away from Izzy's field. She studied computer science, just like Ethan. The implication was painfully clear. I frowned. Ma'am, there's no hierarchy of college majors, I said. Of course, Mrs. Rossi said with a dismissive laugh. I just think people in the same field have more to talk about. Sarah looked down, pretending to arrange food on Leo's plate. I knew she was hurt, but she refused to show it. Mom, stop it, Isabella said, looking embarrassed. What did I say wrong? Mrs. Rossi looked perfectly innocent. I just think Ethan and Izzy are a better match. If she hadn't gone abroad, you two would have been married long ago. Mrs. Rossi, I said, my tone turning cold. What's in the past is in the past. I'm very happy now. Are you? Mrs. Rossi glanced at Sarah, then back at me. But I feel like now that Izzy's back, you two have another chance. There's no chance. I cut her off. I'm not getting a divorce. The room fell silent. Leo, sensing the tension, put down his fork and looked at the adults. Mommy, can we go home? He whispered. Sarah picked him up and stood. It's getting late. We should be going. Sarah, Isabella started to say. Thank you for lunch, Sarah said politely, then carried Leo out of the room. I stood up and looked at Isabella and her mother. In the future, please don't arrange situations like this. With that, I followed Sarah out. On the drive home, Sarah sat in the passenger seat, holding Leo, staring out the window without a word. Leo, picking up on his mother's mood, was quiet too. Sarah, don't let it get to you, I said, keeping my eyes on the road. I'm not, she said, her voice barely audible. Mrs. Rossi is just one of those people. She likes to put on airs. I know, but I knew it must have hurt. No woman wants to hear someone say she's not good enough for her husband. When we got home, Sarah took Leo to give him a bath. I sat in the living room, feeling frustrated. Since Isabella's return, the peaceful life we had built was starting to fracture. I didn't want Sarah to get hurt, but Isabella clearly wasn't giving up. After his bath, Leo ran out to me in his pajamas. Dad, why did that lady say Mommy isn't good enough for you? I froze. I hadn't realized he'd understood them. Leo, she didn't say that. But I heard her, he said, his little brow furrowed. She said Mommy's major wasn't as good as the other ladies. A child's hearing is always sharper than you think. Leo, I said, pulling him onto my lap. In Daddy's heart, Mommy is the best. Really, really. Mommy makes lots of delicious food. She tells the best stories, and she sings to you. The other lady can't do any of that. Leo thought for a moment and nodded. Yeah, Mommy is the best. That's right. So we have to protect her and not let anyone bully her. Okay. Leo made a fist. I'll protect Mommy. Sarah came out of the bathroom just in time to hear us. Her eyes were red. Leo, time for bed, she said, walking over. Mommy, I love you, Leo said, throwing his arms around her neck. Sarah hugged him tight and kissed his cheek. Mommy loves Leo, too. In that moment, a wave of warmth washed over me. This was my family, my wife, my son. Whatever Isabella did, I would never let them go. Monday morning, I had just arrived at the office when the front desk called. Mr. Hayes, there's a Ms. Rossi here to see you. I frowned. Send her up. 5 minutes later, Isabella knocked and entered. She was wearing a power suit and flawless makeup, projecting an aura of confidence. Ethan, sorry to bother you, she said, sitting down across from my desk. What is it? I asked without looking up from my documents. About yesterday, I want to apologize. My mom is just like that, a little too direct. It's fine. Ethan, look at me when you talk. I raised my head and met her gaze. I know you still have feelings for me, she said, looking straight at me. Yesterday, when I saw you with Sarah, I could tell you were just putting on an act. An act. Yes. There's no love between you. I know you, Ethan. When you love someone, your eyes light up. I didn't see that light in your eyes yesterday. I laughed. You're mistaken. I'm not. Isabella stood up and walked around to my side of the desk. Ethan, let's start over. I know you hate me for leaving, but I'm back now. I want to make it up to you. Her hand rested gently on my shoulder. I could smell her familiar perfume, the same brand she'd loved for years. Isabella, don't. I pushed her hand away. Why? She knelt in front of me, taking my face in her hands. Ethan, I'm being sincere. I've thought a lot these past 5 years, and I realize now that you're the only one I've ever loved. Her eyes welled with tears. She looked completely genuine. The me from 5 years ago would have crumbled. But not now. Isabella, your sincerity came too late, I said, removing her hands. I have a new life now. But you're not happy. I'm very happy. No, you're not, she insisted, shaking her head. How can you be happy living with a woman you don't love? I love Sarah. You don't. Isabella's voice rose sharply. You love me. I heard footsteps outside the office and quickly gestured for her to stand up. My assistant, Chris, knocked and came in. Mr. Hayes, about the afternoon meeting. He saw Isabella and stopped short. It's fine, Ms. Rossi was just leaving, I said, standing up. Ethan, think about what I said, Isabella said, composing herself. I'll be waiting. She grabbed her purse and left. Chris watched her go. Mr. Hayes, who was that? An old classmate, I said, sitting back down. Postpone the afternoon meeting by an hour. Right away. At lunchtime, I had no appetite and just worked at my desk. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Sarah. Remember to eat lunch. I made soup for you. It'll be waiting when you get home tonight. The message instantly lifted my spirits. I replied, okay, thanks, honey. A moment later, a picture came through. It was Leo at home, playing with his Legos. Leo says he misses Daddy. I smiled and sent a voice message back. Be good, Leo. Daddy will be home after work. A voice message came back almost immediately. Daddy, I built a castle. You have to come see it. Hearing my son's innocent voice filled my heart. This was my family, my anchor. During the meeting that afternoon, I found myself distracted. Isabella's words echoed in my head. You're not happy. There's no love between you. It made me question everything. Do I really love Sarah? Or have I just gotten used to her? After the meeting, I sat alone in my office for a long time. When Sarah and I got married 5 years ago, there was no love. I was filled with anger and resentment toward Isabella. Sarah was more like a life raft. But in these 5 years, we had been through so much together. When Leo was born and Sarah had complications, I spent the whole night pacing outside her room. I remember thinking, if anything happens to her, what will I do? When Leo had a high fever at 1 year old, we took turns watching him for 3 days and 3 nights. I remember seeing Sarah asleep in a chair, exhausted, and my heart ached for her. When Leo said Dada and Mama for the first time, we were both as giddy as children. And all the countless ordinary days, with Sarah quietly giving everything for our family. She never complained, never asked for anything, just loved us unconditionally. How could anyone say that wasn't real? I left work at 6 and drove home. As soon as I walked in, Leo ran to me. Dad, come see my castle. He pulled me to the living room and pointed at the elaborate structure on the coffee table. Wow, Leo, you're amazing, I said with exaggerated praise. He danced with joy. It's a house for Daddy and Mommy. Sarah came out of the kitchen, an apron on, a few beads of sweat on her forehead. You're back. Go wash up. Dinner's almost ready. Okay. I leaned in and kissed her cheek. Thank you for everything. Sarah blushed. Leo's right here. He can get used to Daddy loving Mommy, I said with a smile. During dinner, Leo talked nonstop about kindergarten. Dad, the teacher said my drawing was the best today. Really? What did you draw? Our family, he said, gesturing excitedly. Daddy, Mommy, and Leo, and our house. That's wonderful, Leo, Sarah said, stroking his hair. The teacher said kids with a mommy and a daddy are the luckiest, Leo said. That sentence struck a chord in me. Yes, they are. And the person who gave him that luck was Sarah. Later that night, we were watching TV. Leo nestled between us. Sarah was leaning against me, her warmth seeping into me. Ethan, she said suddenly. Yeah, how was your day? It was good, I lied. Really? Sarah looked up at me. I feel like you've had something on your mind lately. I looked down at her. Her eyes were filled with concern. Sarah, do you love me? I asked abruptly. She was taken aback, then nodded. I do. Since when? She thought for a moment. A long time ago. Probably back in college. But I was chasing Isabella then. I know. Sarah smiled sadly. That's why I never said anything. Then why did you agree to marry me? Because I wanted to take care of you. That day, Sarah's voice was soft, seeing you standing up there all alone. My heart just broke for you. I pulled her closer. Sarah, thank you. For what? For loving me. For giving me a home. She snuggled against my chest. You're silly. In that moment, it all became clear. Love isn't always a whirlwind of passion and a racing heart. Sometimes, love is quiet companionship, selfless sacrifice, and a shared joy of watching your child grow. Isabella was wrong. I was happy, because I had the best wife and the most wonderful son in the world. A kind of happiness she would never understand. The next evening, I was on the floor building a Lego tower with Leo when the doorbell rang. Sarah went to get it and returned a moment later, her face pale. Who is it? I asked. Isabella, she said, her voice unnervingly calm. She wants to come in for a minute. I frowned and got up, heading for the door. Isabella was standing on our porch, holding several shopping bags. Ethan, I bought some toys Leo might like, and a little something for Sarah. That's not necessary. We don't need anything, I said, blocking the doorway. Think of it as a gift from an old friend, Isabella said with a bright smile. Besides, I want to talk to both of you. Sarah came up behind me. Since you're here, you might as well come in. Sarah, I started to object. It's okay, she said, shaking her head slightly. We're all friends here. When Isabella came inside, Leo looked at her curiously. Leo, your auntie brought you a new robot, Isabella said, crouching down and offering him an expensive-looking toy. Leo glanced at the toy, then up at me, and Sarah. Thank you, Auntie, but I already have toys, he said politely, declining the gift. Isabella looked momentarily flustered. You're a very well-mannered boy. Leo, why don't you go play in your room? Sarah suggested. Okay, Mommy. Leo obediently went to his room. The living room was suddenly silent, occupied by the three of us and a suffocating tension. Sarah, this is for you, Isabella said, holding out an elegant box. It's a French skincare line. It should be perfect for you. Thank you, but I don't need anything so expensive, Sarah said, not taking it. Don't be like that. We were roommates, we were so close. Sarah just smiled, saying nothing. I could see the discomfort in her eyes, but she maintained her composure. Isabella, if you have something to say, just say it. I cut in. I want to be honest with both of you, she said, looking from me to Sarah. About the issue between us. What issue? Ethan, you know why I came back. Isabella's expression turned serious. I want to start over with you. Sarah's body stiffened beside me. I've already told you. That's impossible, I said flatly. Why is it impossible? Isabella turned to Sarah. Sarah, you know as well as I do that Ethan loves me. Your marriage was frankly an accident. Isabella. My tone was a warning. I'm just telling the truth, she said, standing up. Sarah, you're a good person, but you shouldn't be in a position that doesn't belong to you. Sarah's face was ashen, but she remained calm. Isabella, are you finished? I know this is hurtful to hear, but it needs to be said. Isabella walked right up to Sarah. Are you and Ethan happy together? Is there any passion between you? The kind of love that makes your heart race. Sarah didn't answer. There isn't, is there? Isabella pressed on. Because you two are just going through the motions. To Ethan, you're a responsibility, not a romance. That's enough. I stood up. Isabella, get out of my house. Ethan, can you honestly say you don't love me anymore? She whirled on me, tears in her eyes. Can you say you've forgotten all the wonderful times we had together? I looked at her, momentarily speechless. It was true. I hadn't completely forgotten the good memories. The sweetness of a first love, the passion of youth. Those things were real. But, Ethan, Sarah's voice cut through the air, quiet but firm. If you want to go back to her, I won't stop you. I stared at her in shock. Sarah, what are you saying? I'm saying if you still love her, I can let you go, she said, getting to her feet. I'll take Leo and I'll leave. I won't make things difficult for you. Mommy. Leo's small voice came from his room. He must have overheard us. Sarah quickly went to him. It's okay, sweetie. Go back to your Legos. Isabella watched this scene with a flicker of triumph in her eyes. See? Sarah understands, she said. Ethan, even she knows you two aren't right for each other. I watched Sarah's back as she disappeared into Leo's room, my heart a tangle of emotions. She was always like this, shouldering all the pain herself, never wanting to be a burden. Just like at our wedding 5 years ago, when she stepped up to save me from humiliation. Just like these past 5 years, when she silently endured my lingering feelings for Isabella without a word of complaint. And now, she was willing to leave for the sake of my happiness. How can I not love this woman? Isabella, I said, turning to her, my voice calm. Leave? What? She was stunned. I said leave, and don't come back. Ethan, are you crazy? Sarah just agreed. Her agreeing doesn't mean I agree. I cut her off. Isabella, I'm telling you for the last time. I will never leave Sarah. Why? Her voice was shrill. What does she have that I don't? I looked toward Leo's room, where I could hear Sarah's gentle voice talking to our son. She's better than you in every way, I said, my voice filled with conviction. She's kind, she's gentle, and she gives everything for this family. She loves me, but she never forces me. She gave me a son. She gave me a home. But you don't love her. I do love her. I looked Isabella straight in the eye. Very, very much. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Impossible. Nothing's impossible. I walked to the door and opened it. Isabella, let the past go. We all need to move on. Isabella stood frozen, tears streaming down her face. Ethan, you're going to regret this. I won't, I said firmly. The best decision I ever made in my life was marrying Sarah. Isabella ran out, sobbing. I closed the door and let out a long, deep breath. Sarah came out of Leo's room, her eyes red. Ethan, what you said just now. I meant every word. I walked over and pulled her into a hug. Sarah, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm okay, she whispered into my chest. I was just so scared you would leave. I will never leave you. I kissed her forehead. Sarah, do you believe me? I believe you. Leo ran out of his room and hugged our legs. Daddy, Mommy, what are you doing? Daddy's telling Mommy that we're never, ever going to be apart, I said, crouching down to hug him too. Really? Really? Good, Leo said with a happy smile. I don't want Daddy and Mommy to be apart. At that moment, holding my wife and son, I felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Isabella was right about one thing. I hadn't forgotten the good times from the past. But the past is the past. Right now, I had more important people to protect. Sarah and Leo were my entire world. After Isabella left, our home returned to its usual tranquility. But I knew the incident had deeply affected Sarah. She was distracted for days, burning dinner, seeming distant while playing with Leo. At night, she would turn her back to me, pretending to be asleep. But I knew she was awake from the unsteady rhythm of her breathing. Friday night, I decided we needed to talk. Sarah, I whispered behind her. She murmured, not turning over. What are you thinking about? Nothing. Just trying to sleep. I gently wrapped my arms around her, feeling her body tense up. Sarah, are you still thinking about what Isabella said? She was silent for a long time before whispering, Ethan, she was right about some things. What things? We don't have that. Epic kind of love, she said, her voice small. We're more like partners, just getting by. I turned her around to face me. Sarah, look at me. She opened her eyes, which were filled with confusion. What do you think an epic love is? I asked. She thought for a moment. It's that feeling where your heart races when you think of them, where you can't stand to be apart for a single day. Do you want a love like that? She shook her head. I don't know. I gently stroked her cheek. Sarah, let me tell you what real love is. Love isn't just passion and a racing heart. That's just hormones. Real love is wanting to grow old with someone. It's willingly taking on responsibility for them. It's feeling a sense of peace just by being with them. But, do you remember the day Leo was born? I interrupted her. You were in the delivery room, and I waited outside for 6 hours. I remember thinking, I continued, if anything happened to you, what would I do? Tears began to well in Sarah's eyes. And when Leo had his first fever, we took turns watching over him. Seeing you asleep in that chair, completely exhausted, I just thought, this woman has given so much for our family. I have to protect her, Ethan, and all the countless ordinary days. You cook, I do the dishes, and together we watch Leo grow up. These moments, as quiet as they are, they're what make up the most beautiful kind of love. Sarah finally broke down, sobbing. But I'm not as amazing as Isabella. I don't have an advanced degree. I don't have a fancy career. I'm nobody. You are my wife. You are Leo's mother. You are the heart of this home. I wiped away her tears. Sarah, in my eyes, you are more important than anyone. Really, really. I leaned in and gently kissed her lips. Sarah, I love you. Not out of habit, not out of duty, but because it's real love. She clung to me, crying like a child in my arms. She had held so much inside for 5 years, and tonight, it was finally all coming out. Ethan, I love you too, she sobbed into my chest. I've loved you since college. It's never changed. I held her tight, my heart full. Love comes in many forms, and passion is only one of them. What Sarah and I had was the kind of deep affection that could last a lifetime. The next day was Saturday. I decided to take them both out. Where are we going? Sarah asked. Wherever you want. I want to go to the beach. Leo raised his hand. I want to see the ocean. All right, to the beach it is. On the drive there, Leo was buzzing with excitement in the back seat. Sarah sat beside me in the passenger seat, a genuine smile finally gracing her face again. Ethan, thank you, she said. For what? For choosing us. I took her hand. Silly. I'm the one who should be thanking you. At the beach, Leo bolted for the sand. Dad, Mom, hurry up. Sarah and I followed, hand in hand. The sea breeze tousled our hair, and the sun glittered on the water. Everything felt perfect. Leo collected seashells while Sarah helped him, and I stood back, taking pictures. Watching them together, my heart overflowed with happiness. Dad, come help, Leo called. I went over and joined them in building a sandcastle. This is our castle, Leo declared, pointing at our lopsided creation. Our whole family lives here. Okay, then we'll live here together forever, Sarah said with a laugh. Forever and ever, Leo clapped. Watching them, a question popped into my mind. Sarah, if you could go back in time, would you still have saved me at the wedding? She thought for a moment. Yes. Why? Because I love you, and I couldn't stand to see you get hurt, she said simply. Besides, if it weren't for that day, we might never have gotten together. Yeah, I said wistfully. So, I guess I should thank Isabella. Thank her for leaving me so that I could find someone so much better. Sarah blushed. You always say things like that. Because it's the truth. We spent the whole day at the beach, leaving only as the sun began to set. On the way home, Leo was exhausted and fell asleep in the back. I had a wonderful time today, Sarah said softly. We'll do this more often. Okay. Sarah, I want to tell you something. What is it? Our anniversary is next month. I want to throw you a proper wedding. She looked at me, stunned. A wedding? Yes. The one we had was so rushed. I want to give you the perfect ceremony. But we've been married for 5 years. So what? I smiled. I want everyone to know that Sarah Miller is the only woman I will ever love. Her eyes grew red again. Ethan, you really don't have to. I said seriously. Sarah, will you marry me again? She nodded vigorously. Yes. In that moment, I was the happiest man on earth. A wife who loved me, a wonderful son. What more could I ask for? Isabella's return had only made me cherish what I had even more. Some misconnections are just detours to a better destination. And finding Sarah was the best thing that ever happened to me. The process of planning the wedding revealed a side of Sarah I hadn't seen before. She was so careful, always asking my opinion, afraid her ideas weren't good enough. Ethan, what do you think of pink flowers? She asked, holding up a brochure from the wedding planner. Whatever you like is fine, but I want to know what you think. I put my phone down and looked at her. Sarah, this is your wedding. It should be exactly what you want. It's our wedding, she corrected me. Okay, our wedding, I said, pulling her into a hug. But I just want to see you happy. Leo was thrilled. Mommy's going to wear a wedding dress. Mommy's going to be so pretty. That's right. Mommy is the prettiest, I said, ruffling his hair. Can I be the ring bearer? Of course. You'll be the most important ring bearer in the world. Leo danced with excitement. Just then my phone rang. It was an unknown number. Hello. Ethan, it's me. It was Isabella. I frowned and walked out to the balcony to take the call. What do you want? I heard you're having a wedding. That has nothing to do with you. Ethan, are you really going to do this? Her voice sounded tired. Just to prove you love Sarah? I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Then why are you doing it? I glanced back into the living room, where Sarah and Leo were debating the color of his ring bearer suit. Because I want to give her the perfect wedding. Because she deserves the best of everything. There was a long silence on the other end. Ethan, I'm going back to the States tomorrow, she finally said. Before I go, I'd like to see you one last time. There's no need. Just 10 minutes. There's something I need to say. I hesitated. Where? The same coffee shop. Fine. 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. After hanging up, I went back inside. Sarah looked up. Who was that? Volk? Elite. I might be a little late coming home tomorrow. Okay. She didn't press. The next afternoon, I arrived at the coffee shop at 3 on the dot. Isabella was already there, with 2 cups of coffee on the table. You came. She looked exhausted, her eyes puffy and red. I sat down across from her. What did you want to say? Ethan, I need to apologize, she said, looking down. I've been a lot of thinking, and I realized I was completely wrong. What do you mean? I kept thinking you still loved me, that we could go back to the way things were. She gave a bitter smile. But I was wrong. You're not the same Ethan who would have done anything for me. I said nothing. Seeing you with Sarah, I finally understood what real love is, she said, looking up at me. The way you look at her is filled with such tenderness and a desire to protect her. You never looked at me that way. Isabella. No, let me finish, she interrupted. When we were together, you were good to me, but it was more like worship. A boy's infatuation with his first love. You put me on a pedestal and were so careful not to upset me. She was right. Back then, she had been an untouchable goddess to me. I worked so hard to be worthy of her. I did whatever she wanted, terrified she would be unhappy. That kind of love was more like a form of self-torture. But with Sarah, you're so natural, so relaxed, Isabella continued. There's a sense of equality between you. You protect her, and she quietly supports you. That's what real love is supposed to be. I looked at her, a complicated feeling stirring in my chest. Ethan, I'm leaving, she said, standing up. I'm going back to finish my degree. I probably won't be back again. Isabella, you're a good person. You'll find someone who's right for you. I know. She managed a small smile. Ethan, thank you. For what? For showing me what true love looks like. She walked to the door, then turned back one last time. I wish you both happiness. Then she was gone. I sat in the coffee shop, watching the people on the street, a whirlwind of emotions inside me. For 5 years, Isabella had been like a thorn in my heart. Now, finally, it had been removed. I took out my phone and texted Sarah, thinking of you. A reply came almost instantly. Thinking of you too. Come home soon. How's Leo? Napping. You should get some rest too. Okay, you take care of yourself. Looking at the simple, mundane exchange, my heart felt so warm. This was life. Not a constant storm of passion, but a quiet, steady warmth. When I got home, Leo was still asleep, and Sarah was watching TV. She immediately got up when she saw me. You're back. Yeah. I pulled her into a hug. Sarah, I love you. Why so sudden? She said, a little embarrassed. Just felt like saying it. I kissed her forehead. I'm going to say it a lot more from now on. You make me blush. You're not allowed to be embarrassed, I said with a smile. You're my wife. It's perfectly natural for me to say I love you. Sarah's cheeks turned pink, but her eyes were full of joy. Just then, Leo woke up and came running out of his room. Dad! He threw himself into my arms. You're home. Did you miss me? Yeah. Well, Daddy missed Leo too. I held Leo and looked at Sarah, feeling utterly content. This was my home, my entire world. Isabella's departure meant I had finally, completely let go of the past. From now on, I was only looking forward. Forward, in the direction of Sarah and Leo. Dad, do you have to work tomorrow? Leo asked. I do. Daddy has to work to make money to buy Leo toys. Will you come home early? Yes, Daddy will come home early to be with Leo. And be with Mommy. That's right. And be with Mommy, I said, looking at Sarah. Daddy loves Mommy and Leo the most. Sarah's smile was sweeter than anything I had ever seen. This, I thought, is what happiness looks like. It doesn't need to be earth-shattering. As long as the people you love are by your side, it's more than enough. The week before the wedding was chaotic. On top of my work responsibilities, I had to finalize all the wedding details. Flowers, music, decorations, catering. Everything had to be perfect. Sarah saw how stressed I was and felt bad. Ethan, you're exhausted. Maybe we should just keep it simple. No, I said firmly. This is your only wedding. It has to be perfect. But I don't care about all the formalities. I care. I hugged her. Sarah, I owe you a perfect wedding, and I'm going to give you one. She didn't argue, but I could see how moved she was. In the days leading up to the ceremony, I noticed Sarah seemed to glow. Maybe it was the anticipation, but she was more beautiful than ever. She started paying more attention to her appearance, buying new skincare products, and getting her hair done. Mommy is so pretty, Leo would exclaim every day. You're just a sweet talker, Sarah would say, spinning him around. Watching them, my heart felt full. This was the life I wanted, simple and happy. 3 days before the wedding, I received an unexpected call from Sarah's parents. They lived in her hometown, and we didn't talk often. Their relationship with Sarah was complicated. Ethan, I hear you two are having a wedding, her father asked. Yes, sir. Why didn't you tell us? I paused. Didn't Sarah mention it? That girl of ours, she never shares good news, only bad, her mother said, taking the phone. Ethan, we'd like to come. I glanced at Sarah, who was playing with Leo, oblivious to my call. Of course. I'll have Sarah get in touch with you. Wonderful, wonderful. After hanging up, I went over to Sarah. That was your parents. She looked up surprised. How do they know? They must have heard from someone. They want to come. A complex look crossed Sarah's face. Ethan, my parents, they might. What is it? They might say some things that aren't very nice, she said, worried. They weren't very supportive when we got married the first time. I remembered then. 5 years ago, her parents had voiced their objections. They thought our marriage was too rushed, and I didn't have a stable career yet. It's okay, I said, taking her hand. Things are different now. But, Sarah, they're your parents. This is our wedding. They should be here. She thought for a moment and nodded. Okay, I'll call them. Her parents arrived soon after, staying in a hotel we booked for them. When we met, the atmosphere was a little stiff. Mom, Dad, Sarah said nervously. Sarah, her mother said, looking her up and down. You've lost weight. No, I'm fine. Her father looked at me, his expression stern. Ethan, it must have been hard on you all these years. Not all. It's my pleasure. Grandpa, Grandma. Leo ran over and greeted them politely. The sight of their grandson instantly softened their expressions. Oh my, look how big Leo has gotten, her mother said, picking him up. He looks just like his dad. Leo is a very good boy, Sarah said. I can see that, her father said, reaching out to pat Leo's head. With Leo as a buffer, the tension eased. Over dinner, her parents asked about her life. Where are you working now, Ethan? At Apex Innovations. I'm the director of engineering, Sarah answered for me. That's good, her father nodded. A promising career. And Sarah, you're at home with the child? Her mother asked. Yes. Once Leo is a bit older, I plan to go back to work. That's a good idea. A woman should have her own career. I could feel a shift in their attitude toward me. Seeing that we were living well must have put their minds at ease. Later that evening, I had a private chat with her father. Ethan, how has Sarah been all these years? He asked. She's been wonderful. She's an amazing wife and mother. That's good to hear, he nodded. We were worried back then. Your marriage happened so suddenly. I understand, but it seems you two are very happy. He patted my shoulder. Ethan, thank you for taking such good care of her. Sir, it's what I should do. I love Sarah very much. I can see that, he smiled. At the wedding tomorrow, I will entrust her to you. I will protect her for the rest of my life. In that moment, I felt truly accepted. When I got back to our room, Sarah was giving Leo a bath. How did it go with my dad? She asked. It went well. I think he approves of me now. Really, she beamed. He was always so worried about us. He doesn't have to worry anymore. I hugged her. Tomorrow is our wedding. I know, she said, leaning against me. Ethan, thank you. For what again? For giving me a complete family. I kissed her forehead. Sarah, tomorrow you will be the most beautiful bride in the world. She blushed. I'll try my best. You don't have to try. You already are. That night, we held each other, no words needed. Tomorrow was a new beginning. Even though we had been married for 5 years, I was more excited for this wedding than I could have imagined. Because this time it was by choice. This time it was for love. On the day of the wedding, I was up before the sun. Sarah and Leo were still asleep. I watched them quietly, a warmth spreading through my chest. Today, I would let the whole world know how much I love Sarah. In the morning, I went to the venue to check on the decorations. The wedding planner had done a fantastic job, transforming the space into a fairy tale scene with white and pink flowers. Mr. Hayes, is there anything else you'd like us to adjust? The manager asked. I did a final walkthrough, ensuring every detail was perfect. It's perfect. Thank you. Great, we'll start setting up the sound and lighting. I nodded and called Sarah. Honey, are you awake? Just woke up. She mumbled sleepily. Where are you? At the venue. It looks beautiful. You're gonna love it. I'm heading to the makeup artist now. Okay, don't be nervous. I won't. My mom is with Leo. He's still asleep. Good. After the call, I went to get ready myself. At 3 in the afternoon, guests began to arrive. My colleagues, friends, and some of Sarah's old classmates all came to celebrate with us. It wasn't a huge crowd, but it was filled with people who genuinely cared for us. Ethan, you're the man of the hour, my colleague Chris said, clapping me on the back. Thanks for coming. Where's Sarah? Getting ready. She'll be out soon. Just then, Leo ran up to me. He was wearing a miniature tuxedo and a bow tie, looking incredibly dapper. Dad, he said, hugging my leg, do I look handsome? You do. You're the most handsome ring bearer in the world. He giggled. Mommy's getting ready too. She looks really pretty. Is that so? Yeah, prettier than a princess. I smiled. Leo was always his mother's biggest fan. At 4 o'clock, the ceremony began. I stood at the altar, my heart pounding as I watched the doors at the end of the aisle. The music started, and the doors slowly opened. There she was, Sarah. She was wearing a white wedding gown, a wreath of flowers in her hair, and carrying a bouquet of pink roses. Her father was on her arm, walking her slowly toward me. In that moment, she was the most beautiful woman in the world. It wasn't the dress or the makeup, it was the light in her eyes. The light of happiness, of being loved. Daddy, get Mommy. Leo shouted from the front row, and the guests laughed. When Sarah reached me, her father placed her hand in mine. Take good care of her, he whispered. I will, I promised solemnly. The officiant began the ceremony. Ethan Hayes, do you take Sarah Miller to be your wife, to love and protect her, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, for all the days of your life? I do, I said loudly, looking into Sarah's eyes. And Sarah Miller, do you take Ethan Hayes to be your husband, to love and support him, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, for all the days of your life? I do. Sarah's voice trembled slightly, but it was firm. Now you may exchange rings. I took the rings from Leo and gently slipped one onto Sarah's finger. Sarah, this time, I am willingly, wholeheartedly taking you as my wife. She slid my ring onto my finger. Ethan, I am also willingly, wholeheartedly taking you as my husband. I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. I pulled Sarah into my arms and kissed her. The room erupted in applause. Daddy and Mommy are kissing. Leo clapped excitedly. In that moment, I felt like the luckiest man on earth. At the reception, toasts were made all around. To a lifetime of happiness. To Leo's health and happiness. Sarah was beaming all night, her eyes sparkling with joy. Ethan, thank you for giving me a wedding like this, she whispered to me. You deserve it. I feel like I'm in a dream. It's not a dream, I said, taking her hand. From now on, we're a real married couple. We were already a married couple. But this time is different. I looked at her. This time, it's for love. Sarah nodded, her eyes glistening. Later that night, after the guests had left, the three of us went home. Leo was exhausted and fell asleep quickly. Sarah and I sat in the living room. She's still in her wedding dress. Are you tired? I asked. Not at all. I'm so happy, she said, leaning her head on my shoulder. Ethan, today was the happiest day of my life. There will be many more happy days to come. I know. We held each other in silence. All the storms of the past 5 years had led to this calm, beautiful shore. We had faced misunderstandings and trials, but in the end, we had found our way to each other. Ethan, Sarah said suddenly, if Isabella hadn't run off that day, would we be together? I thought for a moment. Probably not. Then I should thank her. Why? Because if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have had the chance to marry you, to have Leo, to have the happy life I have now. I held her tighter. Sarah, we should be thankful for everything in the past. It all made us cherish the present even more. You're right. Sarah, I love you. I love you too. That night, we fell asleep in each other's arms. In my dreams, I saw our future. Our hair would be gray, but we would still be in love. Leo would be grown, with a family of his own, and we would still be walking hand in hand into the sunset. It was a beautiful future. Life after the wedding was even sweeter. Sarah became more confident, a constant, happy smile on her face. Leo was thrilled. He felt that his parents having a big wedding made our family even stronger. Dad, when are you going to have another wedding? He asked one day. Why would we do that? Because I want to be the ring bearer again. Sarah and I both laughed. Leo, when you grow up, you can be the groom at your own wedding, she said. But that's a long time from now. It is. He thought for a moment. I don't want to grow up. I want to be Mommy and Daddy's little boy forever. Okay, you'll always be our baby. These were the conversations that filled our days, ordinary, but full of warmth. A month later, I received a promotion at work. Ethan, congratulations. The board has decided to promote you to vice president, my boss told me personally. Thank you for your trust, sir. You've earned it. Everyone has seen your performance over the years. When I got home, I told Sarah the good news. Really, she said, thrilled. Will you be busier now? Probably, but I'll do my best to balance work and family. I know you will. She hugged me. Ethan, I'm so proud of you. I couldn't have done any of this without your support, I said, kissing her forehead. Sarah, without the stability you give me, I could never focus on my work. Don't say that. This is the result of your own hard work. It's the result of our hard work. We went out to celebrate that night. Leo was ecstatic. My dad got a promotion. My dad is the best, he announced at the restaurant, making the other patron smile. Leo, quiet down, Sarah said, embarrassed. Why? I want everyone to know my dad is amazing. I ruffled his hair. You're Daddy's best boy. On the way home, Sarah said suddenly, Ethan, I want to go back to work. What brought this on? Leo is 5 now. He can go to preschool. I'm just at home with nothing to do. I want to find something to fill my time. I considered it. What kind of work do you want to do? I want to open a small bookstore, she said seriously. My major was English Lit, and I've always loved books. And with so many parents focused on children's reading now, I think a family-oriented bookstore could do well. I was surprised. I hadn't realized she had thought it through so completely. Have you found a location? There's a storefront for lease near our neighborhood. The location is great, and the size is right. How much capital would you need? I did the math. Around $30,000, she said, looking at me anxiously. Is that too much? Not all, I said, taking her hand. Sarah, I support you. Really? Of course. It's a great thing for you to have your own career, and I know you'll be amazing at it. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. Ethan, thank you. We're a team. No need for thanks. The next day, we went to see the storefront. The location was perfect, right at the entrance to our community, surrounded by several preschools and elementary schools. The foot traffic here is great, and it's mostly parents with kids, Sarah said excitedly. The layout is good too, I said, looking inside. You can have a reading corner here, and the bookshelves can go there. Leo ran around the empty space. Mommy, is this going to be your bookstore? Yes. Do you like it, Leo? I love it. I can come read books every day. We signed a lease on the spot. For the next month, Sarah was a whirlwind of activity. Renovations, ordering inventory, getting permits. She handled everything herself. I would go help her after work, and Leo would tag along. Dad, should this shelf go here? Leo asked, pointing to a corner. Ask Mom. It's her bookstore. She's the boss. Sarah crouched down to his level. Where do you think it should go, Leo? By the window, so there's sunlight. It's cozier for reading. That's a great idea, Sarah said, stroking his hair. We'll put it there. Watching them discuss the store, my heart swelled. This bookstore wasn't just Sarah's dream. It was becoming a project for our whole family. On opening day, a lot of people showed up. Neighbors, parents from Leo's school, and some of my colleagues. Sarah, the store is so charming, one mother said. Thank you. Please come again soon. Sarah greeted her guests warmly. Leo, in his little suit, stood at the door handing out flyers. Welcome to my mommy's bookstore, he chirped. His cuteness charmed everyone. Leo, you're such a great helper for your mom. Uh-huh. I'm mommy's little assistant. The first day sales weren't huge, but Sarah was ecstatic. Ethan, look, we sold 18 books today, she said, counting the cash. That's a great start. It's only going to get better. I know. I'm going to work hard to get more kids to love reading. Seeing the passion in her eyes, I knew she had found her calling. This was the right decision. That night, the three of us sat in the quiet bookstore, organizing the shelves. Under the soft lights, Sarah carefully wiped down a shelf, while Leo sat in the children's corner, engrossed in a picture book. Dad, look at this story, Leo said, running over with a book. What is it? It's about a family of bears. They're really happy, just like us. I took the book. It was indeed a heartwarming family story. You're right, Leo. We're just like the Happy Bear family. Dad, will we always be this happy? We will, I said, picking him up. As long as we all love each other, we'll always be happy. Sarah came over and wrapped her arms around both of us. We will always be a family, she whispered. In that moment, in this little shop filled with the scent of new books, I felt a sense of contentment I had never known before. This was the life I wanted. A loving wife, a wonderful son, and a shared dream. Isabella's departure had made me cherish everything I had now. Some people are just passing through your life. Others are meant to walk with you for a lifetime. Sarah and Leo were my lifetime. 3 months after the bookstore opened, business was booming. Sarah was fulfilled, and the smile on her face was brighter than ever. Ethan, you know what? A mom told me today that her daughter started to love reading because of our store, she told me excitedly. That's amazing. And Mrs. Davis wants to partner with us to host a regular book club. Mrs. Davis was Leo's kindergarten teacher and a frequent customer. That's a great idea. It would attract more parents and kids. I know. I already agreed. The first one is next Saturday. Do you need my help? Not yet. I want to try it on my own first, she said, brimming with excitement. Ethan, I think I've finally found what I was meant to do. Seeing the light in her eyes made me so happy for her. Everyone deserves to have their own dream, and Sarah was no exception. In the past few months, I'd seen her confidence soar. Her world used to revolve around me and Leo, but now she had her own social circle and her own sense of accomplishment. The change was beautiful. The Saturday book club was a huge success. Over 20 families showed up. Leo and I were in the audience. Sarah was a natural host, telling stories to the children in her gentle voice and organizing interactive games. Your wife has a real talent for this, one of the parents told me. She really does, I replied with pride. Leo was thrilled. He raised his hand to answer several questions and won a small prize. Mom, can I come every time? He asked on the way home. Of course, sweetie. You're my biggest supporter, Sarah said, stroking his hair. I'm going to tell all my friends at school to come too. Seeing Leo so proud of his mother's work filled me with warmth. In our family, everyone was striving to support each other. A month later, I had to go to Chicago for an important project. It was my first long business trip since my promotion, and I'd be gone for a week. Leo and I will miss you, Sarah said as she helped me pack. I'll miss you too. I hugged her. Will you be okay with the store? Of course. I'm a pro now. Besides, Leo will help me. That's right. I'm Mom's best helper, Leo declared proudly. From Chicago, I video called them every night. Dad, so many people came to the store today, Leo said excitedly into the camera. Really? Did you help Mom? I did. I helped organize the shelves, and I helped at the cash register. Sarah laughed beside him. He was actually a great help. Dad, when are you coming back? In a few more days. You have to listen to Mom, okay? I will. Even though it was a short trip, I found myself incredibly homesick. I used to think work was the most important thing, but now I understood that family came first. On the 5th day, Sarah called me. Ethan, Leo has a fever. Her voice was tight with worry. Is it bad? I asked, immediately on edge. 101. 3. I gave him some medicine, but he keeps saying he misses his dad. I'm booking a flight back right now. No, your work is important. I can take care of him. Work is not more important than Leo. I was already looking up flights online. I'm coming home tonight. Ethan. Sarah, you two are the most important people in my life. The work can wait. I can't be away from you when you need me. I took the last flight back that night. Leo was asleep when I got home, but he was still feverish. Sarah was sitting by his bed, her eyes heavy with exhaustion. You're back, she said, tears welling up the moment she saw me. You've had a long day, I said, hugging her. How is he now? The medicine helped a little, but he's still warm. The doctor said to watch him, and if the fever doesn't break by morning, we have to go to the hospital. I touched Leo's forehead. It was definitely hot. Daddy, he mumbled, his eyes fluttering open. Daddy's here, I said, stroking his face. Still feel sick, buddy? Daddy's here, so I feel better now, he said with a weak smile. In that moment, my heart melted. This was the power of family. No matter the distance, we were always connected. I sat by Leo's bed all night, taking his temperature every hour. I convinced Sarah to go rest. You've been up all day. Go to sleep, I'll watch him. Wake me if you get tired. I will. In the dead of night, watching my sleeping son, I did a lot of thinking. Work was important, but family was more important. I didn't want to miss Leo's childhood. I didn't want Sarah to bear all the responsibility alone. I had to find a better balance. By morning, Leo's fever had broken. Dad, I'm all better, he said, sitting up energetically. You sure? I'm sure. He threw his arms around my neck. With Dad here, I get better super fast. Sarah woke up and was relieved to see him back to his old self. Thank you for coming home, she said. It's what I'm supposed to do, I said, pulling her into a hug. Sarah, I'll never let you face things like this alone again. It's okay, I can handle. But I can't, I said, looking at her seriously. We're a family. We face everything together. After that, I adjusted my work schedule, avoiding long-term business trips whenever possible. No matter how busy I was, I made it a priority to be home for my family. I had learned a valuable lesson. Success isn't just about career achievements. It's about a happy home. And a happy home requires effort from everyone. For Leo's 6th birthday, we threw a party for him at the bookstore. We invited his classmates, their parents, and our regular customers. Happy birthday, Leo, everyone sang. Leo was overjoyed, his smile brighter than the candles on his cake. Make a wish, Sarah said, holding the cake. He closed his eyes and wished with all his might. What did you wish for, Leo? One of his friends asked. I wish for my mommy and daddy to love me forever, and for our family to always be together. The adults in the room were touched. Leo, you're such a sweet boy. That wish will definitely come true. Sarah and I met each other's eyes, both of us a little misty. Yes, our family would always be together. After the party, we were cleaning up the store. Dad, this was the best birthday ever, Leo said, hugging a new toy. Why is that? Because I had so many friends here, and I have my mommy and daddy's love. Leo, mommy and daddy will always love you, Sarah said, kneeling to hug him. And I'll always love you too. These warm, simple moments were what made my life feel perfect. A week later, I received an unexpected call. Ethan, it's Isabella. I froze. I hadn't heard from her in nearly a year. What is it? I'm getting married, she said, her voice calm. Congratulations. He's a classmate I met in the States. He's a good man, and we're a good match. That's great. Ethan, I wanted to thank you. For what? For showing me what real love is, she said, her voice catching. If I hadn't seen you and Sarah together, I would never have understood what love is supposed to look like. I was silent for a moment. Isabella, I wish you happiness. You too, she paused. And Ethan, I'm sorry. I was so selfish back then. Let the past go. We all have to look forward. I will. After hanging up, I let out a long breath. The call brought back a flood of memories. All the pain and struggle now seemed worthwhile, because those experiences had taught me to cherish the life I had now. That night, I told Sarah the news. Isabella's getting married. She was telling Leo a bedtime story and paused. Is she? That's nice. You're not bothered by it? Why would I be? She smiled. She found her happiness. I'm happy for her. Sarah, you're too kind. It's not kindness, she said. It's because I'm so happy myself that I want others to be happy too. Leo rolled over in bed. What are Mommy and Daddy talking about? Nothing, sweetie. Time to sleep, Sarah said, tucking him in. Mommy, are we going to the bookstore tomorrow? We are. It's the weekend, lots of kids will be there. Then I have to get ready to greet them. Seeing his earnest expression, Sarah and I both smiled. Our son was so full of optimism, just like his mother. The next day at the store, a special customer came in. She was new to the neighborhood, a single mother with her daughter. Hello, we just moved in nearby and heard great things about this bookstore. Welcome. Sarah greeted them warmly. How old is your little one? She's 5, just started kindergarten, the mother said. She looked tired. Her daughter was quiet and shy, hiding behind her mother's legs. Leo saw them and walked right over. Hi, my name is Leo. What's your name? I'm Lily, the girl whispered. Lily, do you want to read a book? I can recommend some really good ones. Leo took her hand and led her to the children's section, pointing out his favorites. Your son is very sweet, the mother said to Sarah. Thank you. Your daughter is lovely too. She's a bit shy. I was hoping she could make some friends here. She will. Leo loves making new friends, and we have activities all the time. The kids here are very welcoming. From then on, Lily became a regular at the bookstore, and she and Leo became best friends. Lily's mother, Megan, was a programmer who had relocated for work. It must be tough, raising a child on your own, Sarah said to her one day. It's okay. You get used to it, Megan said with a small smile. Lily's a good kid. She doesn't cause any trouble. Well, if you ever need anything, please let us know. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Lily has opened up so much since she started coming here. Watching Leo and Lily reading and playing together warmed my heart. Kindness is contagious. Leo learned it from us, and now he was passing it on to others. That was the power of a loving home. A month later, Megan offered to help manage the bookstore. My work hours are flexible. I could come by after I'm done. Oh, we couldn't ask you to do that, Sarah said. Please, don't worry about it. Lily is so happy here, and I want to do something for the store. Besides, I know my way around a computer. I can help you with online promotion. And so, Megan became a part-time employee. With her help, business got even better. She started a messaging group for customers, posted event updates, and even set up an online store. Sarah, your bookstore is becoming a real enterprise, I remarked. It's a team effort, she said humbly. Megan has helped so much, and Leo is always giving me ideas. Our Leo is a smart kid. He gets it from you. Smart and kind. And he gets his gentle, strong spirit from you. Sarah blushed. When your sweet talk. It's the truth, I said, hugging her. Sarah, our life just keeps getting better. It does. It's better than I ever imagined. And it was a loving family, successful careers, and good friends. This was the happiness I had always wanted. 2 years later, Leo was 8 years old and in the 2nd grade. Sarah's bookstore had expanded to a 2nd location. My career was also going well. I had been promoted to executive vice president the year before. Our family was thriving. Dad, can I ask you a question? Leo said one day, his expression serious. Anything. Why do some of my classmates' parents get divorced? I was taken aback by the question. Well, maybe it's because they don't love each other enough, I said after a moment. Will you and Mom get a divorce? Never, I said firmly. Mom and Dad will be together forever. Really? Really? Because Dad loves Mom very much, and Mom loves Dad very much. Leo nodded. I love you and Mom too. We know, Leo. You're the best son in the world. Conversations like this made me cherish our life even more. Our love had been tested by time and had only grown deeper. One weekend, we went hiking as a family. Dad, I can't walk anymore, Leo panted. Just a little more. We're almost at the top, I encouraged him. Leo, Daddy can carry you, Sarah said, concerned. No, he shook his head. I want to climb to the top by myself. Seeing his determination made me proud. He had the best parts of both of us. He was going to grow up to be a fine man. When we finally reached the summit, Leo looked out at the view and shouted with joy, I did it. You sure did, buddy. Sarah and I applauded for him. Dad, Mom, let's take a picture. The 3 of us took countless photos at the top of the mountain, every single one filled with happy smiles, memorials to our best moments. On the way down, Leo was so tired he fell asleep, and I carried him on my back. Sarah walked beside us, occasionally adjusting his jacket. Are you tired, Ethan? She asked. Not all. He's getting heavier, which means he's growing up. I know. Time flies. Sarah, do you have any regrets? I asked suddenly. Regrets about what? About marrying me. She stopped and looked at me seriously. Ethan, marrying you is the one thing in my life I will never regret. Why? Because you've given me the most perfect life, she said, reaching up to touch my face. Ethan, I love you. I love you too. We kissed on a mountain trail, our son sleeping peacefully on my back. In that moment, I felt like the happiest man alive. When we got home that night, Leo was full of energy and demanded story. Mom, tell the one about the bear family. Okay, today the bear family went hiking. Sarah began to spin a new tale. I listened, my heart full. We were just like the bear family, simple and happy. Just then my phone rang. It was my boss. Ethan, I have some great news for you. What is it? The board has decided to appoint you as the next CEO, effective next year. I was stunned. Really? Absolutely. Everyone sees the work you've put in. Thank you, sir. I'm honored. You've earned it. After hanging up, I was buzzing with excitement. CEO, it was the pinnacle of my career goals. What's got you so happy? Sarah noticed my expression. The company is making me CEO. Really? She gasped, her face lighting up. That's amazing. What's a CEO? Leo asked. It means Daddy is going to be the big boss, Sarah explained. Wow, Dad's even more awesome now. Leo clapped. Seeing my family so happy for my success was the greatest feeling in the world. Without Sarah's support, without the warmth of this home, I never would have made it this far. Sarah, this achievement is yours too, I said, pulling her into a hug. I couldn't have done it without you. Don't be silly. This is all your own hard work. No, it's the result of our hard work. We were all too excited to sleep that night, talking late into the evening. Lying in bed, I thought back to that night 5 years ago. I had been abandoned by Isabella, and I thought my life was over. I never could have imagined that my lowest point would be the turning point of my entire life. If it weren't for that failed wedding, I never would have found Sarah. If it weren't for Sarah, I never would have the happiness I have today. Sometimes life works in mysterious ways. What you think is an ending is actually a beginning. What you think you've lost is actually a gain. Now, I have the wife I love, the most wonderful son, and a successful career. This life is better than anything I could have ever dreamed of. I looked at Sarah, sleeping peacefully beside me, and gently stroked her cheek. Sarah, I whispered into the darkness, thank you for coming into my life. Thank you for showing me what true love really is.